Good morning to all of you. On behalf of CIRDAP family, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you all to this webinar. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Bruce, for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time. I know it is early morning there, and you are sitting in time in advance. We are very eager to listen to you. Uh, it's my religious duty to introduce today's honorable speaker to our audience. Dr. Shang-Ho Bruce Young is director of Graduate Institute of Bioindustry Management in National Chung University, Taiwan. He did his doctorate from University of Kentucky, USA in agriculture economics, and his research focus is on basically agribusiness management, consumer behavior, food marketing, and with an emphasis on the intersections of sustainability, innovation, and market dynamics in what we today the world is talking about the agri-food system. For his very significant contribution, he recently received uh, an award for sustainable agriculture during 2021. Dr. Bruce, he seeks to bridge academic insights with industry applications. That is more important. Today, the very objective of this webinar is also to link academic knowledge with, the professionals who are working at, grassroots level for rural development. And Professor Bruce is a recognized researcher, published a large number of research papers. There is a long list of research papers in different journals, and he is a recognized reviewer for very reputed journals, and he is also editor for Sustainable Agriculture Journal, one of the reputed journal in academic circles. With this, before I ask Dr. Bruce a word about CIRDAP Knowledge Series, this platform is created to link outstanding, the best professionals in the field of rural development, agriculture, with professionals who are working in rural development in Asia and Pacific and beyond. So it is just a platform. Thank you, Bruce, for accepting our invitation again, and over to you.
All right, thank you, Chandra. Thanks so much for CIRDAP's invitation for this speech. A while back ago, we went to Michigan State University for understanding and learning the U.S. system extension, agriculture extension. It gave us very good lessons to me. That's why I feel recently I have explored something in the poultry house management, and it's quite important to share this knowledge around the world. I'm not sure other country is similar to Taiwan or not. We are like eggs, and Taiwanese people eating eggs a lot, almost one day, one egg, everyone. So can you see my screen, my sharing screen?
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
Okay, good. So I'll continue to carry on, okay? Yeah, thank you so much for today's invitation and talk. Today I'd like to share the scientific poultry house management. Especially we have learned some very key small steps management and could improve a lot in the production rate and decrease the mortality rate. And so that's why we want to share this knowledge, small knowledge to all of you, and hope that you all may be able to share with the farmers, increasing their yield. Yeah, so today I'm gonna talk about several things. In the beginning, I'll talk about Taiwanese egg industry and type of hens. Also, how's the sample what we use we talking about today, and also the hen house can help against climate change or not. What is the best hen house we can adopt in nowadays, especially climate change is getting more severe. And also, we like to know the mortality rate and production rates and how it's gonna affect to economic loss. Is relevant to the house design or not? Yeah, so that will be pretty much for today's outline I'd like to share. So beginning of Taiwan's egg industry, it's about like 9.2 billion of eggs consumed every day in 2024. Okay, the total eggs we consume in 2024. And Taiwanese population is just about 23.5 million. Yeah, so that means that about like 20.1 million of eggs consumed every day. So some people eating more than one egg. Some people maybe is just eating one egg. Yeah, and so market is getting more significant. But this market is so much significant. But you can see the picture here, most of farm tend to be like the traditional cage farm like this. It's about around 88% like this format, which is maybe have a higher risk in the mortality rate. Yeah. So in terms of annual market value, is about 33.8 billion for the eggs, and the total farm in Taiwan is about over 2,000, just a little bit over. Yeah, this record just brand new in March in 2025 this year. Yeah, and the hen number in laying eggs about 45 million hens. Yeah, so what we can see the past 10 years and now, the structure of a hen house scale has been slightly changing, especially some farm are smaller scale, like 20,000 hen house farm is more like the majority. In 2016, just about 54%, and more than the 50,000 hens is less than 10%. But now it's changing. The market is changing. The farmer tend to be bigger farmer, but the small shares still have a majority. For the 20,000 hens farm is still like the 40%, and 20 to 50,000 hen farm like 42%, and 50,000 hen farms is more than 17%. So what we can see, the structure is from a small scale farming to bigger scale farming, because this market is getting bigger. Because 10 years ago, people are not really eating one eggs one day. Yeah, so the consumption of egg is getting increased. Yeah, what we can see, the traditional egg farm looks like this style. This style of farm is tend to be easy to make up with the economy of scale. You can scale up with the number. You know, if you understanding the eggs, the hens, how frequently they are laying eggs for us. Basically, it's almost one day one egg. So you have more hens, that means you have more eggs, and egg is money. So for the farmer, they can collect the money so fast. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is it's a middleman will come to the farm to collecting egg. So the cash flow it tend to more feasible. Some people want to sell in the farm recently, maybe like the 30 million, 50 million. Many people ask, who can pay this? Big money. But this business is really good at the cash flow. that make the business able to go through. And that's why production rate is today's topics. And that's why many farmer, like the small percent of farmer, when you want to expand the big money in a modern egg farm like this, it's not an open ventilations. It's not open space. It's closed. It's closed. So eggs, the hens will not see outside. The outside wild bird, their poop or their manure were not able to intact inside. And that is very severe things. Is nowadays avian influenza getting more worse. We call this a closed negative pressure layer henhouse. It's control temperature, moisture, production rates, and some part of farm they more follow with the animal welfare regulations with the bigger cage. It's still in the cage. We call it enriched cage. Yeah. So what we can see, this farm, the traditional egg farm, is more open air. The outside wild bird may be able to contagion the avian influenza to the egg farm. Once it's contagion, it will be a nightmare because your farm is confirmed to be an avian influenza hen farm. All hens were killed because the regulations. Okay, so this is the differences. And what we can see, this type of hen farm are less than 10% of hen farm are producing by this farm. That's why today we want to see how much difference is. 5 years ago, we bring students to field trip and we learned that one of our famous farm, like Da Wu San, in southern Taiwan, they are producing the bigger number of farm, bigger number of egg farm. This company it also have a stock markets. You can buy their stock in the stock market, and so you can see they are willing to investment the whole equipment, not just producing eggs, while also wash the egg, packaging the egg, labeling, and transportation to the market they want. Yeah, so they are really willing to invest the big money in the production systems. And what we can see, the majority of a hen house are located in the west. Here's Taiwan map, okay? This side is western side and the southern. So west and south area are majority of a hen house located area. The most population are in Taipei and Taichung. Okay, so most of eggs have to ship from the south or central to the north. And that's why we understanding the consumption area and the production area. Majority of a farm are gathered in Changhua area in the central here. About 41% of farm are gathering here. And I came from Pingdong, and which is the second largest of the pig farm, the hen house farm in southern here. And the total hen number is 46.7 million of hen number in Taiwan. In types of a hen house, we may see the traditional high floor cage, friendly rears, and basically this percentage was provided by the government documents, Ministry of Agriculture in 2022. From that point, we don't have any more updated informations. So we're just using this for demonstrating the current trends. Traditional cage farm is 64.49% traditional hen house farm. And the high floor open and high floor closed farm are about 14.59. So without countering the friendly rears, it's almost about 80% of a farm, they are using cage, traditional cage farm, about 80%, okay. the numbers slightly different from my survey data. I will show you later. When we say friendly rears, we consider enriched cage, bound laid, free range, yeah, and or maybe multi-layer bound laid. We can see those percentage are less than 10%. So the hen production issue is quite a lot of difference comparing other countries. So in our sample, those are the farmers, not consumers, purely farmers. And collecting sample from farmer was not easy because they were afraid that we are stealing their business informations, and yeah, so typically we not asking confidential information. We don't asking their name. We just want to know their scale, how their production rate, mortality rate, cost, how much of it, and what types of farm and their locations, and surrounding of their farm, what's the their facility, they adapt. Do they have a moisture or temperature sensor to help their productions? So our sample, total sample is about 332 valid sample, and majority of a sample is about 60%, while the government record is 41%, but our sample has a little bit higher comparing to the government one. But the trend of our distribution are quite similar with the government's distributions. So we consider this kind of a good representative to the whole industry. Now we want to using this sample to explain how Taiwanese farm, how it's looking like. Is it the good shape or bad shape? Yeah, so we want to understand it more, okay? So what we can see that overall farm conditions for year operations, about 49%, almost 50% of a farm, they are operating over 30 years. And that is quite we are expecting because most of farm are either first or second generations, even third generations. And so we can see this, some farm, they are quite young, okay? Yeah, so majority are 30 years or up. And the farm scale, and it's quite matching up with the government reports, about 10,000 to 30,000 hens, about 50%. And we still have some farm are really bigger scale, like 200,000 hen or both, have a 2.4%. And this is really big farm servings into the industries. Yeah, this distribution is quite similar to the government reports as well. And the henhouse type and the distributions, we have 6 different types, like conventional cage, high flow cage, and vertical big cage, enriched cage, and bung laid. Bung laid has a no cage, but they are stay inside the barn. They running around. And also free range is they open the door, the hens can go outside and inside. So we call it a more happy hen, happy egg. Yeah. So with all these different types of hen house buildings, if we consider the animal welfare standard, we consider these 3 is enriched, cage, bound laid, and free range, and the total percentage about 11%. So it enters that for conventional to vertical big cage here, not really can consider as animal welfare cage farms is about 88%. So you can see that if one day we want to promote hen house to be more animal welfare, it will be a lot of challenges, because it's about 88% of farmers, they will stand up to tell you yes or no, right? Yeah, so this is the challenge what we're facing in nowadays. However, this business is quite important. So farmers are really want to changing, but they are not able to change their scale of a production so fast. Now we want to know more. Now, which type of a house, hen house, higher production rate or lower mortality rate? We want to cross comparisons. Okay, so in the production rate, what we find out here, on average, is about 82%, 82.7% of production rate among Taiwan we are facing right now. However, some farms are not really doing a good job, right? They are below 80%, about maybe around like the 25% or less than 25%. They are not doing very good job. Their production rate is 80% below. Mortality rate, they are on average is about 2.9% for mortality rate. But some farmers are not really doing good job because their mortality rate are high. Yeah, so what make these changes even 4 to 10%? Yeah, is that we can consider they are not really profitable. So we want to understand a little bit more. So the farm cost per egg, some farm maybe not clear what's their farm cost, but some farm they know their cost is quite high. They're over 35 NTD dollar per 10 egg. Okay, yeah, and majority are like 52.4%. So, but this one maybe you don't have a sense of that, but we can jump through over here. But we can quickly understanding this slide is whatever your egg cost is below $30, you are tend to be more profitable. Okay, and this is for agribusiness. You have to know that whether it's profitable or not profitable. And now I'm trying to show you. I want to try to do the cross comparison for each type of hen house, wall type, material of a roof, a wall, device, equipment they use, how it's gonna affect in their mortality rate and production rate. And why we have a very stunning finding. Okay, quickly I'm trying to talk about the mortality rate and production rate comparison for the t-test. So conventional cage here, what we find out significant differences for if farmer adopting conventional cage, their production rate tend to be lower than those who are not using conventional cage. Okay, so if you are not using conventional cage, your production rate will be higher, and that is significant differences. So what we can see, how many farmer they are doing for the cage farming. At least 80% of a farmer they are using cage farming, right? So they tend to be facing low production rates. Vertical pig cage is a little bit different story. They're using cage as well, but their production rate is higher. It's 85%. Okay, so if you want to upgrade, at least you can thinking about vertical pig cage as a potential strategy you want to adopt. Besides, enriched cage is not show significant differences, but the bottom rate is about significant differences, about 84.5%. If you adopting bottom rate, the production rate would tend to be higher. Okay, so what we find out, two types of hen house tend to have a higher production rate, bottom rate and vertical big cage. Okay, well, we thought that free range would tend to be a lot of differences, but the number of sample size is not so many, so it doesn't show significant differences. Okay, so low line really shows significance, but for those who using free range, their production rate still on average has 86%. That's not bad, but no, doesn't show significant differences. Yeah, I only from now on only explaining two things: mortality rate and production rates. Okay, yeah, it's more important thing. We are more curious. When we see the pink color means very important, and we find out here if you're the farmers using the wall type of a hen house is using the bricks, you will have a lower mortality rate. Yeah, and also if you using the surfboard is also lower mortality rate. Okay, yeah, and if you has a cool board, you have a lower farm cost. Okay, but what we can see here, the cool board here, mortality rate here will be higher. So, and we like to explain in here, bricks and surfboard maybe has better against the wind and against the outside temperature separately. That's why maybe has a low mortality rate. That's what we guess. Okay, and then the roof material and attachment here, we had the roof material is asbestos roofing. Its mortality rate it tend to be lower as well. Okay, but the modular panel, we do have modular panel. They tend to be has a higher production rate, so this is good one. But if you adopting the 3 or 4-in-1 servo, you have higher mortality rates. We will try to avoid this type of material. Yeah, and then ventilation system is quite important. What we see the before, right, has a cross negative pressure system with the cooling pad, the modern egg farm, right? And we also have the open side canvas ventilation farm. In their production rate, will have a lower production rate. And for cross negative pressure system with the cooling pads has a higher production rate. While we can see these particular differences, installation cost of open-sided canvas ventilation, it tend to be cheaper, but cross-negative pressure system, this building type is tend to be more expensive, but higher production rates. In this type of buildings installations, you can use more than 20 years. So I would say this is a big investment, whether you are able to accept this big money investment or not. Yeah, so also the ventilation mode and control is quite important as well. Like this external ventilation system go through like this whole building from one end to the other end, or maybe cross ventilation system from side cross, or maybe roof exhaust ventilation is based on the roof exhaust the air out. Different type of ventilation system would have a different results. What we find out, especially if you have a cross ventilation system like this, you will have a higher mortality rate, which is not good, right? And maybe you need to try something else. And for this one, the roof ventilations, exhaust ventilation, you have a lower production rate. So this type of ventilation not so good. However, combined ventilation system, it doesn't show significant differences. So I guess at least we are not using just individual one will be better. And this finding is very important as well, because farmer can control the ventilation mode by head manual or smartphone or computer-based control system. What we can find that manual on-site control mortality rates tend to be lower. That tells that what? That tells the farmer if they don't invest in anything, they just go on site. Based on farmers' feelings, oh, this is temperature high or low, I do it by myself, I will have a low mortality rate. But the computer-based control here, what we can see, the production rate will be higher, okay? This is the good outcome for computer-based control system. But one thing we don't expect is if we're using smartphone remote control, so many farmers nowadays, they are believe that new technology using cell phone, because a cell phone will tell them whether the temperature or moisture is high or low, so they can using their smartphone to control the blind or ventilation system to be cooler, turn on the fan, or lower down the blind, something like that. In this method, we find out the mortality rate tend to be higher. So we can understand that farmers still not get used to use smartphone to control the farm management. But you may, until now, you may want to ask me questions that why we have to believe this outcome? Because this outcome is pretty much from all the farmers' surveys. We're understanding how their farm facing in their farm. They provide this information to us. They are not knowing that the mortality rate and production rate is gonna be linking with the other questions. But we try to cross comparison to find out this information. It's quite important for us. If you want to have a better farm management, you better to understanding who are doing a good job, who are doing the bad job, and what we can have a better production rate and low mortality rate. And very important slide I would like to share is this slide. Is the most slide I want to talk is this slide, and this slide is quite important. This slide is talking about water system and the temperature control. What we can find out the water nipple is which is this one. This water nipple was using the hands can drink the water from this small device directly, not like the water bowl that all the chickens, they can drink the water in the bowl, okay? But what we can find out the result totally different. In water bowl here has higher mortality rate and the low production rate. And there's significant differences whenever the farmer, they're adopting water bowl or water nipple. For those farmers adopting water nipples, has a low mortality rate and higher production rate. That tells what? So that tells the farmer should change to water nipple, not using water bowl. If any farm you are still using a water bowl in your farm, you want to have a better production rate and a better mortality rate, you may want to change this water system. This slide is telling us water system is so important. And it's better to using the water nipple, which is this one. I have shared this information to veterinarians, and they telling us this is very common because if you want to have a lower bacteria sharing between hens or chickens, you better using the water nipples, not water bowl. Okay. The other thing is the water temperature, and most of people or farmer didn't know sense that this is important. We find out here if your water tower have a sun shells protections, that your water tower doesn't expose to sun, then we'll have a low temperature. And in that conditions, mortality rate will tend to be lower, production rate will tend to be higher. And not only this, if the farm, the water, they go through from the tower to the farm, have to go through the water line. If you also have a sun shells water line, you also get the really similar outcome is the production rate will tend to be higher. So this is really key message to all the farmers that you want to have a production rate higher, control the temperature water temperature, control the drinking system to be water nipples. Okay, yeah. And the next is besides the inside the buildings, we also try to understand the outside the buildings. How they operate is also important. And we find out hygiene entrance systems for farm biosecurity, which is the farmer, they adopting the outside, inside, try to hygiene block system is very important. They are not let the outside people get inside the henhouse directly, unless they have to do some kind of a hygienic entrance, such as wash hand, the booth need to wash before getting to the barn, even the farm vehicle disinfections, in order to get into the farm, the whole house disinfections, and sometimes that with the off-site vehicle, if farmer doesn't have a good preventing hygiene differences from outside inside, then they can adopt off-site vehicle, which means that off-site vehicle is let the outside vehicle just stay outside, not coming to inside the buildings. Okay, and that the result shows very good outcome, which is low mortality rate, high production rate. And if the farm, they do have a rate-proof construction, such as in the farm, they are not able to see any rates, that they will have a lower mortality rate and a high production rate. And this outcome is quite interesting, because we know that the duck farm within 1 kilometer of a hen house, they tend to have a high mortality rate and low production rate. And that is one of surprising outcome we find out, because veterinarian, they understand, and they are afraid to tell to the public, because for those duck farmer, they are not happy to hear about that. They think, why I'm neighbor to you and your mortality rate and production rate is relevant to me? Because most of the duck farm, they are open farm, and whenever there's a bird in migration, they stop by. When they stop by, they may carry some disease. Okay, so when there's a duck farm nearby, near the hen house, they potentially may have a high mortality rate and low production rates. Okay. So besides that, we trying to talk about economic issues. How is the mortality rate among the house differences? Well, we find out high floor cage will have a higher mortality rate. Okay, free range is a low mortality rate. And then the production rate versus the bottom type, what we find out, free range will be higher compared to the conventional cage. Higher floor cage will be lower. Okay, production cost is quite enriched cage is higher, and free range also higher, because hens are eating more. Farm scale versus bottom type. The farm scale, what we find out, among all these type of farm, vertical big cage farm and enriched cage farm tend to be able to increase the scale. That tells a very important message for farmers, because if you want to increase in the scale with the higher profit conditions, vertical big cage and enriched cage tend to be easy to increase scale, unlike the conventional cage, high floor, boundless, and the free range. Okay, so what we find out in this operation year, majority of farm, they are old farm. That's why conventional cage. So once farm is being settled as a what style, it's gonna stay longer, right? Almost 30 years. High floor cage is as well is high, more almost like 20 years. Okay, and the bigger scale farm, vertical big cage, enriched cage are smallest scale we having right now. Okay, small, so like they are new in the industry. Okay, so we try to calculate economic loss based on loss from death rate, loss from production rate, and the loss from production cost increase situation. So we try to calculate economic loss. What we find out for this one, per farm, we get this outcome. While we find out we shouldn't calculate per farm, we should calculate per hen. The reason is some farms are bigger scale, then they will tend to be bigger economic loss, but it doesn't make sense. So for this economic loss, which we should calculate per hen, we find out high floor cage, the economic loss is tend to be higher, free range tend to be lower. And same thing for economic loss by production rate. is the production rate will be these two are higher. These are this is per hen, and these are lower for free range or economic loss. Yeah, so this is high. Economic loss for conventional cage and high flow cage will be high based on production rates. And then the economic egg value per hen. And then we try to summarize for the whole thing here. We find out economic loss. If we are in the 30,000 hen farm, we find out the free range is tend to be lower economic loss. Conventional cage and the high flow cage tend to be higher economic loss. And then the bigger scale of a farm, vertical big cage and enriched cage is tend to be lower, in the middle and lower. Okay, because spawn rates tend to be high as well. So what we find out, we should tell farmer not try to adopt the conventional and high flow cage. So that tells that the demand of eggs is high in Taiwan, but farmer want to stably provide egg to the industry. It's quite important to adopt the correct production method. If the new farm want to operate and with the profitable outcomes, vertical big cage, enriched cage will be important things. So we run a bigger model, is an interval regression model, trying to find out, control all the variables together and find out the outcome, comparing the previous t-tests quite correspond to each other, especially a small cage. A small cage farm, they tend to have a higher mortality rates, lower production rates compared to the free range farm, and also high economic loss. So yeah, stop to using small cage. Yeah, better using the free range or something. And operation year is the younger farm tend to have a low mortality rate, and then the scale is small scale will tend to be higher, have a higher mortality rate. That means the bigger scale farm will tend to have lower mortality rate. Okay. And again, with the water tower, if you don't have water tower, you have a higher mortality rate. And then the water nipple is, if you are adopting water nipple, you have a better production rate and a lower economic loss. Okay. Yeah. So off-site vehicle operation is necessary for farm in controlling the biosecurity. Yeah. So if you have an off-site vehicle operation, you tend to have a lower mortality rate. And also duck farm is same story from previously. So conclusion in short, the take-home message is the type of hen house really matter. Different types of hen house will come up with the different production rate and the mortality rates. And now we know that the conventional cage and high flow cage, it's over 80% of farm in Taiwan are using conventional cage. And we agree and we promote the farmer, try to refresh, try to rebuild their farm building tend to be high vertical big cage or enriched cage farm, or even free range or bound late, not using the conventional cage or high flow. If a farmer are facing this budget issue, not able to do any on this adjustment, we should say make sure you have what? You have a tunnel ventilation system, water nipples, and also sunshade water tower and manual on-site control ventilations, and also off-site vehicle operation and no windbreak wall. Okay, so water temperature is a key to the production rate. Yeah, although the free range is good at economic loss, but the economic scale is the issue. You cannot increase your scale easily. So in the farming sustainability is not easy to reach. So it also depends on where you sell your egg to, and the market of animal welfare is limited. Yeah, we don't see the animal welfare eggs in the supermarket shelf sell out oftenly. They always has an egg left there, right? So if we one day we see the animal welfare eggs is sold out every day, and I think the market of a free range and the animal welfare eggs tend to be very important. So yeah, that's pretty much my basic information. Thank you for inviting me this short speech. I appreciate, and I open for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for a very very informative and research-based presentation, sir. And now,
Yes.
Yes, we have our audience. If anyone want to ask any questions or drop comments, you can directly ask to the speaker. We have 10 minutes around, so less than 10, but we can use this time. Yes, you can ask someone from Nepal. Yes, Arun Raj Sumagri. If you want to ask anything, you can ask directly to the author, to the speaker.
Yeah, and I will share this PowerPoint after today. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and also this recorded version of the webinar will be placed at our YouTube channel, so there anyone
okay.
can. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting, Dr. Bruce. I have one issue. See, when we examine different parameters in poultry production, the entire, farming community is looking towards a sort of industrial production. You told more than 50,000 hens, 17.06%. So it increased from 15%. Earlier it was around 10%. So every year it is increasing, even though economic losses are more. But on the other hand, investment is very less in free range, where economic losses are very less. So if I look at, Taiwan is fine, but if we take these lessons to developing countries, a small holding farmer, if you adopt all the good practices, probably the free range is better. It looks like that.
Yeah. Different area, different system, and Taiwan has a high demands on egg, especially one egg one day, and every day has a 23 million of egg is necessary in Taiwan. So free range is doable, but piece of land in Taiwan are not many. So if we are using the free range in Taiwan, we are not able to feed all the Taiwan consumptions. Yeah, if Philippines has not the demand is high, I think in the future probably installation with the bigger scale of a production system probably is necessary. But however, the biggest information I like to share is for this slide. I think more for no matter what your farm in Philippines, Nepal, or Bangladesh, or India, I will highly suggest the farmer at least you can try to make sure that your farm the drinking system is using the water nipple drinking system, and also your water temperature is not so high temperature, and that will help the farmer have a better production rate, lower mortality rates. Yeah.
Have you installed solar panels above poultry that house?
Yes, we do have a farmer adopting the solar panel roof style. I think I do have that. Yeah, we didn't see the differences. The farmer if they have a solar panel installed, doesn't show the mortality rate and the production rate differences. But I can tell you, many livestock farm, they adopt with the solar panel installation in their roof systems. Yeah, so it's I think still quite new. So I think it requires further experiments and study in the future to see how solar panel impact the mortality rate or production rates. Yeah.
I have so many questions. Okay. So
Yeah.
others can also ask. I have one important question. See, you talked about Da Vashan farm, which is the largest egg producing farm in Taiwan. Da Vashan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Daosan. Yeah.
Da Vashan, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
whether they also procure from small growers and pay them some money, something like that? Do they have that kind of system?
Say one more time. What system you mentioned?
Yes. Yeah. Do they procure from small growers around, or this entire system is confined only to that company?
That's a good question. I think they the you mean the young chicks, right? How they how's the young chick came from, right? I think they purchased young chicks from the young chick breeders. The Taiwan, they do have 6 young chick breeders, 6 company, and typically they import U.S., Canada's the original species of a young chicks variety, and then imported from outside country into Taiwan. And then once they raising the chickens and laying eggs, and then the egg will go into the hen farm. That will be the first stage. I think they do purchase from those 6 company. It's huge number of that, I know. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Dr. P. Kumaravel, sir, wants to ask.
Yeah,
Yes,
good
sir,
morning.
you can, yeah.
Yeah, good morning. Yang, it was a nice presentation regarding the scientific poultry practices. So, Vietnam has tremendously improved in poultry production. So, you know that India is the second largest egg producer with 142 million eggs. And we have a large number of farms, poultry farms, both commercial as well as backyard farms in Tamil Nadu and South India. And we are also focusing on this biosecurity aspects. So you are mentioning about the various biosecurity, structural biosecurity regarding the fencing, then vehicle movement, then rat control, etc. Then how about the dead bird disposal and other operational biosecurities? Anything specific you are adopting over there?
You say what about what?
That is operational biosecurity, because that is more important, because
Yeah.
lot of infections occur because of biosecurity mismanagement. So how you overcome that one?
Yeah, for those of biosecurity, I still couldn't get the keywords that you mentioned. About which part you are curious.
So
No,
regarding
the question was on
dead bird
the
disposal.
question was on biosecurity practices followed in
Practices.
Taiwan. You talked
Okay.
about keeping the vehicles outside only, and some
Okay.
other practices. Actually, Dr. Kumarvelu wanted to know, what are the practices?
Okay. Currently, for all the hen house in Taiwan, the government has regulations in order to not attach or influences contagious by the wild birds. So all the farms need to have has a blocking net outside the buildings, not able to let outside wild bird able to cross inside. by each farm, government doesn't really like the regulate, you need to do what. It's try to promote the farmer understanding biosecurity, because all these losses, if you got the avian influenza or the whole farm killed, it's losing by the farmer's decisions. So farmer have to learning and have to do the biosecurity by themselves. So government only has one regulation, which is all the farm need to have the blocking nets, not stopping out wild bird go inside the hen house. But besides that, government try to open the classes, training the egg farmer to understanding how to do the biosecurity, such as inside, indoor, outdoor, the buildings. If you go indoor, you have to wash your hands, wash your booth, and everything. And even your booth or the vehicle, the outside, inside need to be like the separate. And that's why when we do the survey, not all the farmers, they do the off-site vehicle operation, because based on some farmer, their location, their geographic, some maybe they can do off-site vehicle operation. Some farmer, they are not able to do it. Yeah, and how often they do disinfections. Basically, government also training farmer to the farmer, like they should try to often disinfections, maybe once in 2 days or 3 days, something like that. Yeah, that recently we do, farmer has facing another pesticide issue. The pesticide we're using for grass in the farming vegetable things, but they find out this kind of pesticide also used in the egg farm. And the reason they do have so much flies issue, and not only one farmer, they miscarry on these the regulations and using the pesticide to kill the flies, but also contaminate all the eggs. And because the government about 2 or 3 years ago has been set up the traceability systems, so it was able to trace back how fast, like within 1 day, like trace back where is the original egg location, has a diagnosis. They do violations on the using pesticide in the farm. So it was happen in 1 day. If in 10 years ago, this kind of a food safety issue is gonna be a big scandal in Taiwan. But nowadays, government have been step by step doing many steps to make sure whether we can find out the trouble eggs coming from where, how we can track them, how we can find out. And once we find out what to do with that, and that's the low down the economic loss as possible. Yeah, that's the government has been doing. I hope my answer your question.
Okay, fine. The only one thing is I want to know is dead bird disposal I was asking. So do you have incinerators installed in almost all the farms?
That's a good question. I don't know. They report, but they do write down whether what they have done in the farm practice. And I think also government do have a right, has a veterinarian for each different county or city. The city government or county government's veterinarian go on site on checking in their operations. In their operation, the number one thing they was checked about what kind of the recall you have, such as when you disseminations in disinfections, and also what kind of feeds and what kind of pesticide did you use? Did you using something now not legal or something? I think those information for farm would record, but it's not the obligation to report to the government every day. No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have another question from Iran. For
All right.
Temi. Yes, what's the average hens number in one free-range farm? Could you give us the average area is needed?
Say one more time. Which farm of?
What's the average hens number in one free-range farm? One
That's a good
free-range
question.
farm.
Yeah, on average, right?
Yes, on
Yeah,
average.
let's
Could you
see.
give us the average area? She is asking about the average area for average
That's a good
free-range.
question. Yeah, let me see. Scale. Do I have a scale? Farm scale. Yeah, free range on average about 30,000 free range, and that is big. Some farms are small, less than 10,000 or less than or maybe around 5,000 only here. But on average can be around like 30,000. Some farm even the scale is even bigger. Yeah, over 50,000. Well, that's a lot in free range. Yeah, that must be it's require about 5 hectares for 50,000. Yeah. So in what area I need to check. I need to check the data. I don't have it right now. Yeah, I'll reply to you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for these good questions.
Nepal, there is a question.
Okay. No, sir. It's like, do you want to ask anything? One person from Nepal, Mr. Ganga Sharma.
That's the thing. The paper is very important for Nepal, and I'm so happy. Congratulations for our Dr. Bruce, and who are presenting the nice paper. But in Nepal, we have the 3 types of climate, and the climate is 3 types. So the region, the climatically region, the temperature is the most important thing. But what is the climatically change in Mongolia, in Taiwan? That's my question. And in the warm temperature, and there likewise the mountain temperature, how we save the poultry, just the hens, for the mortality rate?
It's very important and very good questions.
Yes.
I have one student. She's from Nepal as
Yeah.
well, Pramina, and now she's in Nepal for writing her dissertations. And
Yes.
for this question, my understanding, I know the temperature is quite important, but we didn't ask this about the farm indoor temperature. What's the indoor temperature? What they have? The typically is we are doing the survey research is quite general research.
Okay.
We are not able to understand or capture because each person reply their temperature is different dates, and different day has different temperature, and it depends on
Yes.
if you are a survey in the morning or in the noon and in the afternoon, the
Yeah,
temperature will be a lot of differences.
yes. You are right.
So
You are right.
yeah, so I'm afraid able to explain this outcome. The reason is the temperature are not really able to track, but the climate change issues is really a big issue. So far, I can use in this slide to explaining that in Taiwan, the climate change issue is getting bigger as well. We do have a hotter, more higher temperatures in the bomb house. So farmers need to adopt some kind of new technologies. So ventilation, enclosed buildings, vertical big cage, enriched cage, using the negative pressure, the one big fan, the one side, the other side was using the water filter to blow the air, maintain the indoor temperature in a stable level. And so, yeah, facing the climate change issue, investment on this kind of a building, like vertical big cage, enriched cage, are quite necessary. Free range, they are running around. If they feel hot, maybe they go inside. Yeah, if they are live inside, they feel warm, maybe they go outside. Maybe the climate change maybe okay, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nepal, most part are in the mountain, right? So the
Yes.
temperature maybe
Tarai
around.
also. We have also the Tarai region. A big part of
Okay.
the Tarai region also, yeah. Which is
Right,
the temperature
right.
is very high, yeah.
Right.
And in
May
the hilly
I
side,
ask?
yeah.
Yeah. May I ask? Most of a hen house in Nepal is a free range.
It's a three places. One is the just for Tarai region. The one we are producing in the mountain area is the very less, and for the hilly region is the most. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Whenever it's cold temperature, I think should be not difficult. In Taiwan,
Yes.
is because in summertime indoor the bomb.
Winter is hard. Winter is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, but in Taiwan in summertime we are hot, about
Yeah.
like 36 Celsius, even 40 Celsius indoor. Yeah, it's quite hot temperature, and if too hot, hence appetite is low. Appetite is low, higher mortality rate, low production
Yes.
rate. Yeah, that's why the water temperature may adjust these kind of things. Yeah, in our study we find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. The other question is, I have, if time allow, and that's I'm very interesting about the Animal Welfare Act. And what will be happen when the act will be launched from the government? One day will be the holiday for the animal.
You're talking about the loan, the borrow money
Yeah.
from the bank?
Animal Welfare Act. That's the
Yeah.
new strategic plan. So it is so much interesting in Nepal also, And the people stop the eating, or what will we do in the Animal Act, Welfare Act?
I don't know.
What's your practice? What's
well,
the
I
Taiwan
think
practice?
okay. I think people would like to eat the Animal Welfare Act. Once they know more about the traditional cage egg are quite the big problems, and the problem of high mortality rates. Like if they learn that high mortality rates, hens are easy to die. Their living conditions not good. Consumer tend like to buy animal welfare. But important thing is they want cheaper animal welfare eggs. That's the issue. Animal welfare egg is more expensive because the farmers spend more feed costs. Feed costs, the reason is chicken is running around. So chicken are eating more than those chickens are in the cage, because the chicken in the cage, they don't eat that much because their exercise are low. They didn't exercise at all. Yeah, but animal welfare eggs, the hen, they are moving around all the time. So the price, the production cost will be higher. So the egg price should be higher too, but consumer doesn't accept too much higher price. So this is the not connected. Yeah, so we need more farmer innovate cheaper way of animal welfare and production method. So
Thank you very much.
maybe potential.
我是航科，我能说的啊，你没问题。And 就说，如果你来了尼泊尔 if you are coming to Nepal, we can meet, and it's a very interesting class. Thanks for organizer, and thanks for all, and thank you, my dear professor. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I will let you know. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome. You are welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. We are actually over our time, so sorry apology for being so restrictive the time actually. So now I'd like to request our Honorable Director General Sir to provide any closing remarks, sir, for this webinar, sir.
Yeah, first thing is Thanks to Dr. Bruce. He took his valuable time early in the morning and addressed all the deals. Thank you, Bruce, for your time. Happy to see, the participants from Indonesia, Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Iran, Pakistan, apart from Taiwan. Yeah, it's a good, representation from different countries. One thing, at the end of the day, we are just concluding the global climate summit, and the entire globe is thinking about how we can minimize carbon emission in agriculture operations. So that is one aspect. Then, if agriculture operations are emitting carbon, how we can compensate from the money from the developing countries? That is, another issue which they are discussing. So you gave a very interesting, data here. In free range, I am seeing a happy hen, happy egg, and happy farmer. See, production
Yeah.
rate is high. The
Yeah.
cost of production, even though some money is going for feeds, but the production rate is high. Cost per egg will come down. So, and it is also animal welfare aspects are taken into consideration. I don't know, the free range can be, branded as, happy egg, so that people can eat happily for the same rate or with a little bit more rate, but we are saving the earth. So in case of Taiwan, you have limitation of land, but where I am sitting now in Bangladesh, we have plenty of land. In India, of course, second largest poultry producer. Our friends from Nepal, in any other country, we have plenty of land with farmers for free range production.
Perfect. Yeah.
This is one interesting observation from my side, but otherwise, your presentation was very useful. Normally, we used to think that science is one aspect, but the analysis of science and linking it to industry, your data played very important role in that. Very valuable lessons for industry when they think of upscaling poultry. That kind of vital connection is created by your production. It is not just a paper, but it has a practical implications. Thank you, Professor Bruce, and all the participants. We will catch up again. I was very happy to visit your University of Kentucky. I remembered you when I visited.
Yes. Very happy. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Thank you, Sandra.
We'll catch up again.
Yeah, we'll catch up again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for having with us. Thank you all for joining the webinar. And you can find our webinar, this webinar recording in our CIRDAP YouTube channel. So, and also I will share this presentation to all of you. Thank you.